Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the year. And I've got these two guys in the house today. It's so fun. And I've invited you all along. So this is like a really fun time. I have never had these two before. So I feel like Yosemite Sam down here with like guns or something. It's so bizarre. Okay, so let's flip up our banner, and this is what we're talking about today. LinkedIn 2022 year in review. Woo, there was a lot of stuff.
I know nothing about that.
You know nothing about that. Jeff, we invited the wrong guy. We invited the wrong guy.
It was the other Kevin Turner.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so before we get started, just in case there's somebody who doesn't know you both, let me start with you, Kevin. Can you just quickly introduce yourself, and then Jeff, introduce yourself, and then we'll get stuck in. So
I am Kevin.
Kevin.
Oh, I thought I did. I'm Kevin Turner with TNT Brand Strategist. I love playing with words, playing with brands, helping people express themselves so others understand what they do. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, Jeff, over to you.
Kevin's going to need a new hashtag, Mr. Wordsmith. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you might be. Namaste. I am Jeff Young, and I am the LinkedIn guru, as it says right there on the screen. That's what my network called me anyway. And so I picked it up and started using it as my brand. And so I didn't want to be bland. So I used the networking guru, the LinkedIn guru. And I've been doing this for about 15 years now. If you look up guru in the dictionary, it says teacher. And basically, that's what I've been doing for 15 years. I've been teaching LinkedIn to local folks, to folks on Zoom, of course, for the last few years. And that's, of course, because of the teacher bit. That's why I got the last son of Krypton in the background here, because I sometimes also introduce myself by saying, hi, I'm a teacher. What's your superpower? Okay. That works better on audio. It works better than audio because people can't, I can't get that deep. You know. I can't do a Bud Collyer. For anybody who's old enough knows Bud Collyer was the original voice of Superman.
Oh, who knew? Yep. Who knew? I did not know that. I always thought it was just George. Oh, wow. I thought it was George Reeves, but okay. Little did I know. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. So our topic today is LinkedIn 2022 year in review. I couldn't think of two better people to have on the show. Here I go with my little Yosemite Sam guns again. It's so funny, but it's like, I have to, like Kevin, you are the new feature guy. You're the king of new features. And you just like, I don't know how you do it. You're just like, boom, another one. This year has kept you so busy. And then Jeff, you explain it to everybody. So it's like Jeff's, so it's like, we're all trying to keep up with all these things. So Kevin, I just have to ask you, has this been like a busier year than normal? Have we hit 100 yet?
We probably are. All I've been able to document so far is 98. And again, I don't do this. Other people do it with me. And, it takes many people, both you and Jeff are in there several times finding things before I saw them, but we share them and we bring them onto the list. And as a community, everybody gets to kind of look at them from there. And I always take a kind of an odd approach, more of a database approach on how these things work. And, that's how I see things. So, but I love doing it. Will there be a couple more that'll pop up before the 31st? Probably. I can't see LinkedIn getting this close and not making sure they've got over 100. So, that's, I think, where we are.
Awesome. So Jeff, you're like the poster child of, I didn't get it. I don't have this feature yet. It's like Jeff's always in the naughty chair. He's never getting these features. So I just have to ask you, did you get the pinned comments before that went away at least?
Nope.
No,
I never got it. Which was interesting. That my year has been, let's call my year the year of the workaround. Okay, because of the fact that I haven't had some stuff, I've had to do some stuff to tell people how to work around not having it yet. Okay, as a matter of fact, about 4 months ago, if people actually go up and search for quote workaround unquote, and then look from member me, they will actually find a post that was about pinned comment. That was over 4 months ago that I didn't have it. Okay, so for a couple of months, I still didn't have it. And now, of course, like nobody has it, apparently. I mean,
No.
taking it away, which is naughty. And speaking of naughty LinkedIn. No, Kevin had this the other day. I thought it was great. Your comment was great, Kevin, because you said, how do you define not, you asked LinkedIn, why did you take it away? And they say, well, because nobody's using it. And I went,
low usage.
how do you define not using it? Wait a second. Not everybody even had it yet. There are 870 million people out there, and most of them didn't even know it existed.
Well, the nice thing about that post that everybody kind of jumped in and participated in, the 2 feedback form links, LinkedIn is bringing pinned back. So it's coming back, and supposedly it's going to be better. I've got a call in with a couple people that are on that product team to tell them what I think. I thought it was perfect anyway. It worked. It was incredible. I had it since August, and I used it on every single post. And, I always say sometimes in that 5-wave rollout, it's not good to be the first one. Sometimes it's better to be the middle. Sometimes it's better to be the last, because you actually get something that works and they don't take it away from you, because this one was so good and I enjoyed it so much. And then it was like snapped away. I think I would rather never had it.
Lose it.
Yeah. Now you start thinking like, I know what I used to do, and that worked. You can't do it, but it is coming back because they heard us. And I think they told me 180 feedback forms were filled out based on that post. And that probably got
that's just the ones that you were responsible for. Yeah.
Well, that was Kevin typing.
Yeah.
No, I have a gift like that. I have a gift like, yeah, as a matter of fact.
But it works. It works. They listen.
Well, and speaking of back by popular demand, one of my favorite things that's back is the connected date for when you go to look at somebody's profile and look at the contact information. It now shows on the desktop again, where when it was connected, it never disappeared from the iPad. It never disappeared from the iPad. And by the way, here's part of the complexity of this mix. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but there are at least 4 different platforms that they roll this out to. And by 4 different platforms, I mean desktop, I mean Android, I mean there's a different version of the iOS on the iPad than there is on the iPhone.
Yes.
Okay? So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, So if you talk about not having something, go check all the rest of the places you might have it. Who knows? Okay, you might actually discover that you do really have a feature that you didn't think you had.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated than we think it is.
Yeah, because connected date never disappeared from the contact information on the iPad. It never went away. But it's back. I love it. It's back. I can go see when we connected. And I just did that a little while ago to double check that.
And I think cool. They thought nobody used it, and it's because I think so many people don't know it's there. Now more people know it was there. So now that it's back, I think more people will use it as part of their reaching out, right? Hey, we've been connected since. I can't believe it, And now they're actually going to, start promoting that. Your connection anniversary is now coming up in the notifications.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're going to move it to that celebrations page that has work anniversary, it has birthday, and then what does it have? Promotions. And so then if they throw this in there, connection anniversary, and then actually make it an icon you can click on right in the navigation so you can get there. So you don't have to remember the little hacky, put celebrations on the end of LinkedIn.
Is celebrations still a backdoor thing, Kevin? Like you can only find it by doing /celebrations. Like there's nothing to click on to find that.
But at least it's easy enough, right? You just need to be able to spell celebrations right. If you got that, you're right there. You're in the secret resource, right? And hopefully they'll throw in this connected anniversary thing too. And I think that's kind of cool because I can never remember, I need a little AI assistance every now and then.
It's like, I think LinkedIn should have a button that says surprise me. You click on it and there's that's some feature,
right? The 3 little dots. That's the surprise me. What else you got? Click the 3 dots whenever you see them. always click them because there's always something hiding in there you've probably never seen before, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
I still
Yeah,
do it
I mean,
because they change.
if it weren't for hidden features, LinkedIn would have no features at all.
That's true. It's
In
true.
some instances, right?
I think they're trying to figure out how to redesign the whole site. There's so much going on back there, so many moving parts. They're trying to figure out how do we put all this together and bring it out. And I think they're going, this is really complex. I mean, when you really boil down to it, there's hundreds of features and most people don't have any idea. I would not want to be a newbie on LinkedIn right now because it's too big, it's too vast. You know, how do you figure it all out? You know, there's not enough hours in the day. You know, so to me, you know, I wouldn't want to be there now.
No.
Well, and I think the problem is that whenever you're teaching someone, you know, and I know Jeff does this, and I know even I just teach people within the niche of video. And even that has, well, if you're on the old system, it does this, and on the new system, it does that. And it's just like, or you write an article like with the auto generated captions, which is my favorite feature of the year that got released.
Yeah.
But it's already changed several times. It's changed for the better, but this is really hard to, you know, document and train. And, you know, there's things even LinkedIn doesn't document. Well, there's a lot LinkedIn doesn't document in their help section. And you're just like, okay, try and send a video, like a video message, and go find the help topic. Good luck with that.
I've actually heard there is not a single list within LinkedIn that you can go to somewhere and say, show me the list of features of LinkedIn. Show me the evolution of LinkedIn, right? I tried to document that and it got huge,
Big,
you know,
yeah.
but there isn't a list anywhere where anybody inside of LinkedIn can just go to a file, click it and say, that came out then, that went away this time, this is what it does now. To me, that is fascinating that documentation doesn't exist. Yeah. And it takes people like us to kind of bring it out there.
Yep.
Yes.
And then LinkedIn doesn't like us because we do that. They're like,
right.
No, they can use
than we do.
They can use your database approach. I mean, seriously, it's just a database and an entry in a database that says feature, what do you call it, and when did it come out, and then keep adding to the database. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, now it's almost 20 years, right? I mean, as of May 2023, LinkedIn will actually turn 20 years old.
That's amazing.
Boy,
it's like we got it. It's like we got a young adult. You know, it's like LinkedIn's not even a teenager anymore. It's a young adult.
Well,
it's got to get out and get a job.
Like a toddler, though.
But I've said this before as well. You know, LinkedIn is, you know, when LinkedIn turned into a teenager, okay, I said, yeah, but they're still acting like a 2-year-old. Don't go there, right? It's like, no, there's so many things that are like that. I mean, you know, one of the nicest features that I've seen recently as well is about this profile that can actually, if you pick the you know, the more and about this profile, you can actually see when a person joined LinkedIn. That's important information to me.
That's true.
Okay?
That's
Because
true.
it's helped me ferret out some of those fakes, you know, that pop up from time to time. Oh, look, they joined in December of 2022. Maybe that picture really is a bot or artificial intelligence, right? You know, so I love that feature as well. But you got to know where that is. You got to go to their profile. You got to click the more button. You got to go down to the bottom. You got to click about the profile. There it is, right? But it's very, very helpful. I've been using that stuff all the time.
That's
and
true.
if they get,
That's
you know,
true.
they've now had verified phone number, right? That's usually in there as well. And then hopefully for everybody, we're going to get that verified email if we are attached to a current company page. And that'll be even nicer if that's possible, right? We'll have that connection time they joined. And then these other 2 items really does help define whether they're fly by night, whether they just, you know, appeared before they started connecting with you. So it's another piece of information. Now, activity to me is still a great factor as well.
King.
Right?
That's
if they don't make any comments, if they don't post anything, if they only repost stuff and never say anything, that's somewhat suspicious. That's not really engaging, right? So to me, that's another kind of test. I almost wish they would throw that in the card and give like an engagement rating, right?
Oh, wow.
So, you know,
That
how
would be
many
good.
comments, how many posts, how many, you know, engagement. That would, to me, would be really neat to have just as a little kind of a meter in that sense.
Well, they do that
Yeah,
for
like they're
yourself.
like
You
an
can-
active member. This is an active member.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
would be
Yeah, you
good.
can calculate that for yourself, obviously, right? We talked,
Yes.
Gillian, you and I, in one of our previous lives, talked about an engagement percentage, right? You know,
Right.
it's the impressions divided by the number of comments, and you know, et cetera, to get you some sort of a percentage. That works really well. But what I would like to see is how active a member is by looking at their profile as well.
Yes.
You know, so give them a grade, if you will.
Yeah, kind of like the up to all-star. It would be like an
Yeah.
activity rating up to all-star,
Yeah.
right? Beginner, novice. That's what I would like to see. Just kind of a scale in that sense, so you could get a little better feeling for them.
I love that. That's a great idea. That's a great
Well, and
idea.
thank goodness, I got to say this publicly. Thank goodness for folks like YouTube, because you and I and Kevin are talking all the time, Jillian, and we're talking about, what does this really look like? Do you have this? Do you see this? Do you see, you know, what happens when I do? No, seriously.
Am I crazy, or did it just do that? Right?
We're crowd beta testing this stuff, right? I mean, you know,
Well, and I never even see them as new features. I just go, what is this thing? When did this appear? Is it like how come I can message people from the comments? And I actually was trying to answer comments, and I kept messaging people, and I went, what's going on? And it was all of a sudden I went, is this new? So I screenshotted it, because that's what Kevin always, for anybody
Oh
listening,
yeah.
if you ever see anything weird, make a screenshot and send it to Kevin, or put it in a comment, upload it to a comment and say, am I insane, or is this new?
Is this different? Yeah.
Because if you don't have that screenshot, you don't really understand what we're all talking about. And that's how you
never
can
see
compare.
that first screen again.
communication on LinkedIn. It's one of the best forms of communication. It's not telephone. It's not telegraph. It's telenetwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell your network, because if you tell your network, somebody else is going to be able to help you with it.
So speaking of network, we've got a lot of friends and colleagues and visitors and everything else in the comment.
But it looks like Jeff and Gillian are gone.
Uh-oh. No,
Can
we're
anybody
still
tell
here.
me, is it just me? Am I alone?
No, I'm still here. I'm
Yep,
still
we're
here.
still here.
Or am I the one that's
You're
gone?
not seeing this?
Okay. Well,
I still see the
I still
terrific
see
trio
us.
here.
And I still see Kevin. So I'm just going to keep talking. You can hear me, right, Jeff?
Yep.
Hello?
Okay. That's strange. Why does Kevin not see us? Okay. We'll just, Kevin disappeared.
Kevin disappeared.
He'll be back. So, okay. So we'll go through some comments, Jeff,
Yep.
because
And
we're
that
still
was in
here.
the front row today.
Yeah. Okay, Annette, let's get this party started. We have, and by the way, for anybody, just to let you know, we're going an hour today because I got two guests. We got to wait for Kevin to come back anyways. We couldn't leave without him. So we're going to go for an hour today. So just keep on rocking and staying with us. And if you just started, that's okay, because we're just going to keep yakking. So thank you, Annette, for being here. We got Mick Adam in the house. Hope you guys don't mind me eating while I listen to you. Enjoy today's show. Eating, cooking, walking the dog. It's all good. We always love it.
No problem. I like Mick's post, by the way, that he just did this morning. That was great, because it was talking about now between Christmas and New Year is a really good time to create content, because you have less competition. There are people who are taking time off and not going to be on LinkedIn. So I thought that was a good point as well. It's kind of like the same thing that we tell job seekers. During the holidays is a good time. There he is.
Yep, there he is.
Now, did I disappear or did you all disappear?
No, you disappeared.
All I saw is all of a sudden I had the two other screens, they were black and had the little white worm, going around in a circle. And
No,
I'm standing there,
you.
I'm going, am I it? Am I supposed to still be on?
Can you hear me?
It was
now?
your
Can you hear me
cat.
now?
I don't know what it was.
was your
It was really strange. I thought y'all had gone away. And so
No, it was your cat unplugging your network cable.
chewing on the cable coming in or something. That's crazy.
Okay, so
Glad to be back.
Michael says, I'm happy to be here. We're happy you're here, Michael. Thank you for joining us today. We got Raj. Hey, I'm here today. Yay. And he's coming from far across, so he's staying up late. So that's great. That's great. We've got Mick again. Hello, Kevin and Jeff. And of course, the host, Gillian. The host. I love being the host. We've got Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Hello, Gillian, Kevin, and Jeff. Greetings from Belgium. We've got all the ponds covered today, guys. They're coming in from everywhere. Happy inter-holiday greetings from New York City. Gillian, Jeff, and Kevin, looking forward to your review and insights. Oh, thank you, Adam. So we better have some insights. So what are some insights do you think, like with all the things that kind of happened in this past year, I'll start with you, Jeff, because you're now at the top of the screen. What sort of did you see anything that you just went, oh, LinkedIn's maybe going in a new direction, or was a big aha, or was just like something that like, wow, this really leveled up LinkedIn this year?
My only insight would be, and this is kind of because of what Kevin had done over the year with nearly 100 changes. Okay. I think the insight is that LinkedIn has gone shiny object syndrome on us. Okay. They really, and they hope everybody else does as well. Right. So they're counting on, it seems to me, this is just my personal opinion, but it seems to me that they're counting on FOMO. Okay. They're counting on fear of missing out. Okay, from the standpoint of everybody is afraid of missing out, so they want to jump on that brand new feature, right? That shiny object, right? And whenever I think shiny object, I think of the cat and the Christmas tree, and the cat staring up at the Christmas tree, going, "Ooh, shiny! I need to kill something." Okay, it's like that's what cats do to Christmas trees, right? But I've tried very, very hard this year to not look at it from an FOMO, fear of missing out. I've tried to use it as focus on meeting others instead. FOMO to me is my acronym for FOMO is focus on meeting others. The key features that have been the best as far as I can tell this year are the ones that have actually made it easier for me to network with others on LinkedIn, which is why some of those things that we talked about earlier are so important. Being able to know when someone joined, being able to, here's a hidden feature for you. Try checking out somebody's contact information. Okay. You actually go look at their contact information. Okay. Try going to actually read their about section. If they are anything on LinkedIn, they put an about section out there that is branded that will tell you what they're about. It's a perfect way to use LinkedIn, but those features have been here forever, right? Those are things that people just still don't use and don't know how to use effectively in order to help them network with somebody, in order to help them craft that new the DM, the intro, the actual personalized message that goes along with the invite that we keep teaching people that you should do every single time. Yes. That's where that information can come from so easily, and it makes it so easy to connect with somebody else. And then of course the rest of your network as well. But you guys are responsible for. I don't know this. I can't judge this. I can't tell you the actual numbers, but you guys are responsible for thousands of followers that I've gotten this year because you are pointing people toward me. That's exactly what it's all about. Okay. Being able to find somebody with Leslie Osborne is a key person there. I haven't seen Leslie in the comments yet, but Leslie Osborne is a key person that I know I met through one of your lives, Gillian. So that's my trending for, the trending is being able to use LinkedIn to meet other folks. That's what it's all about. It's about networking.
Well, that's the best feature, right? Is that ability to have a global reach and to find people that think like you, are like you, maybe, or even that aren't, right? But they want to learn and share. And that's the greatest feature of LinkedIn. All the other stuff is just little bits and pieces that make it fancy, right? You don't die by them, right? If they took away the ability, like they did in China, you can't network in China, really. You can't do posts. All they can do is have a profile and apply for jobs. So they've taken away messaging. They've taken away posting, writing articles. That's boring. That's
Well, that's
indeed.com,
where
right?
that's where LinkedIn
Yes.
started in the dark ages, right?
Yeah.
Way back when. I mean, before you could actually do anything like post videos and and all those kind of things, there were years of time where you actually all you could do is put your profile out there and then actually use that to try to find a job. But it's
It
gone
wasn't
so
until
much.
what, 2013 when we got articles.
Yeah, that sounds about
And
right.
that wasn't even a post, right?
I think I wrote my first.
Article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And
wrote
I
my
thought
first
that's
article in like June of 2014. That was the first
Yeah.
time I actually used it, and it's still
Yeah.
there. It's still there. If somebody actually wants to go there and find it.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you want to use it for the networking tool that it's become? That's the real power. That's the real
Absolutely.
real
Everything
reason we're
else
here.
is kind of neat, but it's not necessary.
Yes.
And sometimes it gets in the way.
Yes. And
Well-
and I have to just add in that the ability to do research on someone, to evaluate, is this somebody I want to be connected with or not be connected with? It's all there. So it's like I can go to somebody's profile. I can see, all their contact information. I can read all their different jobs, all the, their businesses. I can go back and look through their content. I can look, do they do articles? Do they do documents? Do they do videos? How do they do videos? It's like, I don't know where else I could learn this much about people for free. Like you think about, like, if you ever go to do research on somebody, just like Google them or whatever. And it's like, you're always getting things like, for $150, we can give you a report. And you just think about, this is all for free.
Yep.
So it's always disappointing when people, send me a DM and I know they haven't done their due diligence. So they're asking me, are you thinking about doing video in 2023? And you're like, are you kidding me?
Can I optimize your profile?
Yeah.
I'm really good at it. I've done 10.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
and it goes the other way as well, Gillian. But, while we're on that topic, in terms of being able to share things with other people has gotten better as well. And I don't mean just posting content. The one that we've talked about ages ago, but I think it was still in 2022. Okay, we talked about how to maximize and keep your sanity on LinkedIn. One of the things that was there was one of the things that they've added that I don't think a lot of people are using still is the fact that every single one of, not all, except for about your about section, okay, every single one of the sections of your profile has its own link now.
Yeah.
We talked about this ages ago. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to share something with somebody, if I wanted to say, I'm really proud of what I've done on LinkedIn and ship that to somebody in a DM or an email or whatever, I could ship them my honors and awards section link, and they could go directly to my honors and awards and see most of my honors and are awards about something that someone else has said about me. Okay. So that's great. So I could ship that and I can prove that I've got the social proof that people say. It's not even just about recommendations. It's about all those other possible sections as well. Right?
Yeah.
I even added my recommendations. I put it in the top linked link at the top there where you can go there. And I just put
Wasn't that clever?
plus written recommendations, because I would have people who would come to me and they'd say, well, where can I find, your recommendations? It's like, you've been on LinkedIn for 15 years. You should know they're all the way at the bottom of the profile, but it's just too far to go, right? So I put them at the top. They click on them. They go straight there. I also will send that, as part of an email if they're asking for those. Yeah, the direct link, ever since they did that redesign, which was about 2 years ago, we all kind of caught that at the beginning and shared all those different slides of the, I guess, the profile changing. That's when it went to kind of direct, but interesting enough, doesn't function on mobile.
Oh,
Right.
Mobile
Right.
doesn't break things down into URLs. That's an address for the internet.
Oh.
Mobile doesn't do it. And so if you send that to them and they try to look it up on mobile, it's going to try to go to the browser, and then the browser is going to say you ought to open up the app.
Yeah.
And you open up the app, and it'll just take you to the top of the profile. So some confusions in there, but overall, I like it. I'm a desktop person, so mobile is never my first place to go anyway. So
Yeah.
But it's something that we have to always keep in mind,
absolutely.
that like you said before, you're designing for multiple platforms. So you have to do that with everything from your profile to your content. You know, if you're doing a document post, make sure that the text is big enough you could see it on a phone.
Mhm.
We always have to keep that in mind. And that's a hard juggle. That's a hard juggle,
yeah.
because sometimes you do forget about that.
Yeah.
Well, and then what is too much didn't read on a desktop screen, you try to shove that into a mobile, you're definitely out, right? So concise, get to the point, use facts, make it exciting, but a lot of writing isn't going to cut it anymore,
Yeah.
and
No. And as a matter of
people
fact,
don't read like we used to.
that was one feature I never got, that the ability to like have like a supersized post, a text post, and I could go on for like half a day and write. I never got that. It's like I get to a certain amount and it says you've exceeded your characters, and that's it. It just shuts me right up. It's like somebody came and, muted me. But then again, I think about it and I went, well, you know what? Maybe this is a sign. Like I don't really like reading these long. It's like, give me an article.
They've got to be really, really good for me to get through something that's 3,000 spaces. It's got to be a lot of good content.
Yeah. On a short form post.
Yeah,
Yes.
I usually will skim something like that, even if it's by people I love and respect. I'll skim it. I'm not going to read it. That's just too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
I don't want to get away from Kevin's point about that link that you can add now up there in your intro section. That is
that's a
thing.
great one.
Well,
That was new this year, right?
It's so nice that you could take it to your website if you want to. You could take it to, like he did, to your own recommendations. Another one that I've done, for example, is that it's an offline link, which LinkedIn doesn't penalize you for anymore, but it's a link to all of my lives and my actual video section, my how-to videos,
Mhm.
right? So now I'm into video and I'm pointing people to it right there just below my name. That's a great feature. Okay. Here's one though that is in change, in flux. I don't want this to get away. There's always been, well, not always, but it's been there for a long time, the ability to put 3 links inside of your contact information as well. Okay.
Right.
And some of those links are supposed to be personal links or blog links or company links or, et cetera, right?
Website.
Yeah, exactly. Could be anything. Okay. Well, I've got 3 of them. I've maximized the use of them, but I also maximized a nice little feature that they had, but they are taking away, which was called Other. Because when you picked Other as a category, you could actually type in something and put a description of it in there. Okay.
Oh, like YouTube or whatever.
You could,
Yeah.
Well, that's what you did, Gillian. As a matter of fact, yours still said it, but the problem is I never changed it. They took away the ability to actually type something in, first of all, right?
Yeah, if you go back, there's no other choice.
Well, there is still another choice for me, but unfortunately, what now Other does is just call it Other. It doesn't allow you to type anything in.
That's not a choice, really.
Well, and what they've removed, unfortunately, because now I have to be a little bit more descriptive in the web, in the links, is they've removed the description of Other. And it's in the process of being removed. I just looked at yours, Kevin. Yours don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yours don't say what they are anymore. Jillian, I looked at yours. Yours actually does say YouTube channel still. So you still got one. So a lot of people recommend.
So don't ever change it.
Exactly. Well, but
I never
unfortunately,
changed
I never
mine.
changed it, but it went.
Oh,
away
and it
anyway.
reset it.
Yep, exactly. So the text is gone. I don't know where it went. It went into the twilight zone, like some of the things that disappear on LinkedIn do. But that's not there anymore.
That happened also with when you add rich media to the bottom of any of your experience pieces. After about 5, some of them will not work at all, or they take 3 or 4 times longer to load, and you can't successfully go through them all. So you need to go back if anybody's got a lot of those. And I have a lot. I did all like 37 podcasts I've been on, and I put them all in there. Each one now doesn't work, and I have to go back and rebuild them all.
Oh no.
So they did that. That happened just a couple of months ago. And if you haven't looked at it, you better go check, because you're giving these great rich media examples and they're not functional. So
You bring up another really good point, though, Kevin, because I actually opened a ticket on that because I had like 55 things associated with the little profile thing that I talked about. That was, podcast guests and LinkedIn Live guests, and they were all there. Okay. Well, the interesting thing is I opened up that because I couldn't get to on the desktop. It was okay on the mobile, but I couldn't get to on the desktop anything that was after 5 because it just would, or actually it was after 10 in my case. So after 10, well, I just went and looked at it about a week or so ago. Guess what? They fixed it.
no, nice.
They're back.
They fixed it for me. They're all there. You guys can check it for me if you want to, but they're all there. There's like 55 different things there. They're there, but the ticket, by the way, is still open. They fixed it, but they didn't tell me they fixed it.
I just went and fixed my own. I didn't wait for it. I had it all laid out anyway. It's all on one file. So I just went pop, 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 pop. Put them all back in and actually changed the orders a bit. So, every now and then you got to go through your profile and fix things just like a website. Things die, links die.
You can't set it and forget it. You have
something you thought was a press release no longer exists, right? Grab those things, scan them, make them a PDF, load those, but go back and check because I see so much of that going on people's profile. Where you go in there, they've used these nice little features, but if they're broken, then it has a whole different appeal, right? Or less appeal, shall we say.
Oh yeah. It's like if you go to see somebody's featured section and they're all like blank pictures.
Yeah.
That looks horrible. That looks horrible.
It happens.
So yeah. So I guess maybe that's one of the things is that we should be doing audits of, on a regular basis. And Kevin, you're always, well, you too, Jeff, but Kevin, I know like whenever something's about to roll out, you always say, quick, go do a data archive because a rollout can sometimes screw stuff up. And then sometimes it feels like LinkedIn says, well, that was a mistake. And then they roll it back again. And in the middle, it's like, well, wait a minute. I don't see my post anymore. Where did my post go? Like weird things happen. So
one day they're going to make a mistake one day and wipe out a bunch of stuff. And then they're going to say, well, did you back up your data? Very much like we
gave it to you.
And our computers at home, they're going to say that. Did you back up your data? We'll load it again for you. And you'll be like, I didn't do that. So I do it monthly.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. How often are you backing up? At least once
more
a
than
month?
Most people should, but I do it monthly. Some people do it quarterly. Some people do it every 6 months, but you should be doing it at some point, and there's a lot of good information in there. That's the other thing is don't just load it and store it away. Go in there and look at the files because there's some cool stuff. And especially if you're looking at, old content, you can't find it on the search on the site, anything more than a year. And even sometimes like things that are 2 weeks old, you can't find, even if you said posted by me, right? And you gave it the right keyword, you still can't find it.
Yep.
It's all going to be in that list. There's going to be a direct link to it. And everything you've ever posted on LinkedIn is there. As long as you didn't delete it or they didn't delete it, it's there. All the way back to whenever you started. So I've got stuff back to 2013.
Yep.
And it is amazing. It's there. You can click on it. You can see it. You can see everybody who commented.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's humbling to go back and look at your own stuff. It's like cringe. You're just like, ugh. But it's good. It's good. And you can revive that content,
It gives you a perspective of how you evolve in doing these things.
Being an old IT geek, okay, I'm doing a backup at least at a minimum every month. And most of the time for me, it's more like once every 2 weeks because I really want to make sure. And besides, it's free anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within 24 hours, you get all your stuff. And by the way, if you actually went and looked at my hard drive, you'd see it's from this date, it's from this date, it's from this date, it's from this. I've got generation after generation of dated content that I could actually go back.
So not just the most current.
That's right.
It's like incremental. Like
I keep all of them. Yep.
Okay, that's good. I got to show Debbie's comment because I keep flashing it, and then we get. Okay, so Debbie says, "What a powerhouse trio! Good afternoon from Florida. We love Debbie. Debbie's so great. Yay, Debbie." Martin says,
Justice League.
Hello, everyone. Great to tune in and hear you all live. Thank you for joining us today, Martin. I think Martin's in Europe, so it's great. Oh, here's another across the pond buddy. Hi, y'all. Hope everyone is well and enjoying the festive season. She beat John in. That's great. I'm always waiting for the comment from Poppy. Okay, we got John here. Good to see you all, friends. So they're always cooking something up, these guys. So that's absolutely great. That's absolutely great. Hello. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce your name because I know I'd blow it, but happy holidays. And thank you for joining us. And then we have Ben. He's saying hello. Yay, little smiley face. And then we have Leslie.
There she
So
is.
Leslie, yay. We just wanted to make sure Leslie was in the house because poor Leslie thought she'd missed the show, and she has not missed the show. So guys, I asked Jeff for his insight. Kevin, what's your insight to have 100 features in almost, we're all, what are we at? 98, whatever.
Yeah, 98. That's a good number.
We got a couple of days left, so I'm sure they're going to throw something out just to hit that 100. So it feels like there's been a lot more than say the year before. So what's your insight? Like what Jeff said, is it shiny object? What's your sort of opinion?
I think the reason we're getting so many features, and they're associated, majority of the really good ones are associated with creator mode, right? Okay. You got to turn on creator mode if you want this new tchotchke, right? They're doing that because there's so many people with fairly large networks. And if you have a large network, especially if it's really well focused and it's quality people, you have an incredible reach into LinkedIn's database. So with that, people have figured out, if I want to not pay for Sales Navigator or not pay for Talent Solutions, I can develop it out this way, right? When they get more people to jump into creator mode, that default of follow first, right? Before I can make a connection, followers are a different number. Followers don't give you a deeper reach into LinkedIn. And so therefore, people who are using that are less likely to be able to circumvent the need, if they want to develop their business, to go into like Sales Navigator or to go into Talent Solutions. That's 65% of LinkedIn's revenue is selling members to other members. That 6 degrees of separation, right? You get to see 3 in so that they can sell you to the other 3 or the other 3 to you. That's the business plan. Creator mode ensures that fewer people can get around that without paying for it. And that's why we're getting a lot of these features, and they always get dumped into that creator mode basket. They're really not looking for more creators. They're looking to control the data access. And so I don't think it's a bad thing. It's their data in a way. It's our data too, but it's their business. And, people forget LinkedIn isn't just a social good site. It is, but it's a business. And so some of these things that, why they do them, if you go back to, where does the money come from? They make a lot more sense. So to me, they've really proven that fact that they're worried about all these people with such big networks that they're getting past the ability now to sell Sales Navigator and Talent Solution as far as they would like it. And that's the other reason that just recently people are claiming that the search now is even more obfuscated, in the sense that a pretty good search you could do a couple of weeks ago, you're not getting quite the same results anymore. And again, if you're not getting the results and you need search, then you got to pay for it. And that's kind of that moving trend. And so I think that's LinkedIn, and it's probably pressure from Microsoft. They're getting that push. You need to make more revenue. So you need to create things that help that process happen. So I think that's what's going on. That's what I think is happening.
That's interesting. That's a really good call. That's a really good call. What are your thoughts, guys, on a lot of things that happened this year were like beta? where things came out in beta to a select group of people, usually people who have a creator manager, which, nobody really understands who gets one and who doesn't. But once you get a creator manager, you're kind of like in this like little golden circle on LinkedIn, and you sometimes get a beta feature and carousel posts, the real carousels, not what we all call carousels, which are slider documents, but the carousel post was one. I'm actually okay with LinkedIn, doing beta things and testing it and make sure it works as expected. So, but what are your thoughts? Is that elitist? What do you guys think?
They've always done beta.
Yeah.
Ever since the very beginning. But before, you were like sworn to secrecy. If you ever went out and bragged that you were in a beta group, your like profile would disappear. I mean, they threaten you. You can do this, but you don't tell anybody. You don't put it on your profile. You don't say anything. You're in a beta because we want you in the beta because we respect your knowledge, right? And they used to make you fill out a lot more forms, which was interesting. So beta's always been there, but they've now kind of expanded to be a little more, I don't know, almost like a status symbol in a way to reward people who are active on LinkedIn, which I can understand why they're doing that, right? So more people want to be that type of member and get those kind of benefits and stuff. So very inexpensively, because they don't spend much on people who do beta. They'll give them a couple little tchotchkes at the end of 6 months of hard work, right? They're way under minimum wage, but it works, and other people want to do it really bad, and that's why they're, I think, got that situation going. And I've had the creator manager. I did better without a creator manager than I did with one. So I think that program had good purpose, but it never really came together the way LinkedIn expected it to. And that's why you don't hear so much about it. And that's why they came out with the accelerator program on top of that, to kind of take a new direction and to give more of the top brass connectivity to some of these creators. So
right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Jeff, do you have anything to throw in on the whole beta thing?
You've heard me say this before. I feel like I'm in beta every day. I mean, because you never know what's going to happen. It's like, it's not just LinkedIn. It's an adventure. It could be anything that could happen, right? And I think more than anything else, I understand why LinkedIn is a business. I understand, that it is, that if you want to know why they do what they do, follow the money. Okay, that makes perfect sense to me. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay,
it allows us to do the other stuff we like to do, right?
Yes,
they paid for the playground.
And I honestly, for years and years and years, until like June of this year, okay, I never actually ever paid for LinkedIn. But I now pay for LinkedIn. But I pay for LinkedIn because they had something that I needed that I was willing to pay for. Okay, I mean,
there you go.
Well, yeah, and the major one that was really there, since I am a creator, since I am in creator mode, and I want to make sure that that I still have the ability to get to and hear from lots of other people. One of the main things I paid for LinkedIn for is so that I can have what LinkedIn calls an open profile. Okay. That means that anybody in the 870 plus million people can send me a DM. I want that ability to have that to happen, even though that maybe opens me up to more spam. Yeah, possibly. But it also opens me up to all the rest of your networks and everybody else's that I know's networks. So if they could ship me something and ask me questions, which is why I'm here. I'm here to help people figure out how LinkedIn works and how to do it effectively. So I don't mind being in that kind of a beta, and I don't mind paying. For
and they need to start a beta premium, right? You pay a premium price. I want to be involved in all the betas. Or I want to be first rollout wave.
You'd be the bravest person I ever saw on LinkedIn.
I know, but I would do it. I kind of do in a way, but
and have a criteria that it's like, maybe you need to have like an X amount of network and X amount, activity. Like there would have to be a checklist.
Yeah, an X amount of money was probably the first criteria.
Could be. Yep.
Do you have a credit card?
That would be a great
You're
one.
In the program.
Yeah. I mean, how many people who train on this stuff wouldn't want to know everything the first time?
Oh, yeah.
You know, be
Oh,
there on the
yeah.
first, because there's nothing more embarrassing than giving a presentation, right? And you open up a screen, you're like, what is that? You learn not to say that anymore, but you kind of go, or where'd that go? I know it was somewhere around here. And they're like, do you not know this, Jeff? Do you not know this, Jillian? No, it was right here yesterday, or that thing.
I got one thing to say.
Like, that's not what it was.
Kevin,
I'd pay to just be out of that problem once in a while.
I got one thing to say about that as a teacher. Yeah, I've been there, done that, and got the T-shirt. Okay, unbelievable. I've had that happen so many times to me as I'm trying to teach somebody something on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a lovely friend of ours, Deanna. Team effort for sure, Kevin Turner. If they roll out new features, will they break some other stuff in the process? And she's a great example. This, I think it was like last week where, she was scheduling events. They were disappearing. She's an incredible LinkedIn audio host. She's been hosting her show. And the next thing you know, she's got 2 events and for the same event, 2 different posts. And I know she was just frantic because she wanted to make sure it was a good experience. Jeff, you were the speaker. And, here's somebody who's got a large following trying to do it right, and LinkedIn hiding posts. And I had the same thing going on. And I was in contact with Deanna that week because I know she was just like, what is happening? And I think it had something to do with the update to auto captions, because once that rolled out to me, I saw my post again. So, that could just be a coincidence.
All of this stuff's interconnected, and nobody planned LinkedIn to be where it is today. There wasn't a plan. It grew, and they added stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff, and then they yanked stuff out, right? And it's just a mess. And so that's why I think that's the next thing that's going to happen, is it's just going to be a platform redesign. And I think they're doing that now, because I've got some really, really strange kind of things that happen. Blue lines around lots of stuff, some odd repositioning of things. So I think they're getting ready to do this. And, they'll give us a heads up right before they do it. So we won't be in that presentation go, what is that?
Exactly. So Sue says, hi from DC-Baltimore, sunny, but not as cold as last week. It's just been like, these are the times where I'm really glad I'm in Las Vegas. Thank you, Sue. Martin. So this was great. So I actually helped Martin tip over. He was at 999, and he says all day long he was just like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And then I happened to see a comment, and I had no idea about this, by the way. And I saw a comment, and we started conversing. He did a lovely shout out to my podcast. And so I went, you're so lovely. I'd love to connect with you. So I sent him a connection, and I was his 1,000th. So it just kind of shows you one person makes a difference. And then 2 days later, I had the thing where I was 99999 trying to go to 10K for the first time rolling up. And I remember Kevin and I were DMing, and I said, Kevin, look where I'm at. It's the night before Christmas, right? And then I had somebody, Avery Sunshine was, I hope I did the name right. Avery Sunshine was so it just goes to show you one person makes a difference. So it's all about the people. It's all about the people. Thank you, Martin. I love that. Ben, love the background of Superman, Jeff. It's really good.
Ben.
It's really good. And thank goodness StreamYard allows us to have virtual backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Missing the pinned comments. I enjoyed it while it lasted. So Kevin, you're saying that is scheduled to come back now.
It is coming back. So, and it's going to be different. That's all we really know. I don't know how they make it different. Maybe actually come up with an icon that looked like a pin. That was my suggestion to him, because, unless you know the 3-dot trick, right? You don't know where to find it. So maybe you make a pin. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I'm actually suggesting that they use more than one pin. So you have your self-promo pin, right? So I put my stuff at the top, and then you have your favorite comment pin. Right.
Oh,
so
that would be nice.
Colors. But they're looking at all sorts of different things. They're definitely bringing it back because we made enough noise. It wasn't coming back. They didn't think it was doing what it was supposed to do. And that was partly because they never tell anybody what it should do. So people will use a feature the way they think it should be used, and sometimes what we can do is not always the right thing to do, so, but on that one, it made complete sense. If you've got some links, if you want people to follow you, instead of putting that in your writing, you don't want that clutter up there, you put it down below, you pin it. That makes sense. That's what I thought it was for.
Yeah.
That's what most people thought it was for, but it's coming back. It's just going to be a little different, supposedly improved.
That's good. That's good to know. And sometimes that's what happens is something gets pulled back. They work on it and then put it back and make it even better. Sometimes
Except they normally don't take it away from people who already have it.
Yeah.
They usually fix it, and then it just kind of like the next day you use it, it works totally different again. Or when you're demoing it, right? It wasn't a pin before, it was just a dot. So normally they just surprise you, but they never normally take it away from everybody without explaining. And that was really, and I understand there was a lot of discussion internally about that was definitely the wrong way to do it. I actually got an apology from one of the top people in the product group in comment publicly that was just the wrong way to do it. It shouldn't have happened that way. We don't do things that way. And so,
that's good.
How it got there, I don't know.
That's good that they're learning. It's good that they're learning. It's good that they're listening. It'd be nice if there was a way that we could give feedback, like, LinkedIn actually, I know a lot of times, like I'm following a lot of the product people, and it's like, you'll see 60 zillion comments and people and they're not even being acknowledged. So even if somebody was just like, okay, yes, thanks.
2 forms that I put in that last post, those are the 2 that have the greatest impact. One goes to the product director at Microsoft, who is the one who gives LinkedIn their KPIs.
Okay.
Right? That says you got to produce X amount of new stuff and fix old stuff and all that stuff. They get it. And then the other one goes to whoever is the lead on that product. So it's one form. That's what's nice. You don't have to go and figure out, it's Tamani is the lead for that. You don't have to know that. You just fill out the form and they get it to the lead. And so that's kind of nice. And I normally note in that form that I've also filled this out on the Microsoft form. You gotta have a heads up, right? I told mom too, it's not just you're getting to know, but I've told mom and dad, they know. But those are the 2 forms to use. And believe it or not, if you want something to happen, you just got to get enough people rallied up to get their attention to make it happen. So,
yeah, but
can you put those links in afterwards, Kevin?
Yes,
put those links
absolutely.
in, and if pinned comments ever come back, I'll pin it.
Yeah, but don't not do feedback just because you don't think your voice is not going to be heard. You need to make sure that you put your 2 cents within there, because you're never gonna hit the ball that you never take a swing at.
There you go.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. So we're winding down or winding up. I never know what the right expression is, but we're click, click, click. The clock is ticking and we only have 2 minutes left.
No way.
So, Zoom, it all went. So, Jeff, let's start with you. Do you have any kind of like final words of wisdom you'd like to share? And then I'll pop it over to Kevin.
Okay, well, I'll keep it brief. I just want to say that if you're planning on being more effective in LinkedIn for the future, for 2023, I got to tell you that I think that being more effective for me is looking and interacting with other people's posts just as much or even more than I look at my own posts. I mean, it was typical, this morning was typical, for example, okay, because I saw Kevin had posted, so I commented on Kevin's post. Then I spent the next 30 to 50 minutes in the conversation with the people, that had interacted with him, because Kevin's popular and Kevin's got, very knowledgeable and people know that. And so, within 30 to 50 minutes, there were another 30 to 50 comments. So I literally spend at least as much time on both of your posts. I'll do this when this live is over. Maybe not today, but I'll spend some time going back through all the comments and figure out what you learn so much by going through the comments, not of just your own, but of all the other people that are out there as well, especially the folks that are closest to you in your network, the folks that actually joined the Justice League with you, okay, like you two. Okay? And I can't do without my Justice League pals because, I may be Superman, but I can't do it all alone. Okay. So think about it from that perspective. Do as much, give as much care to other people's posts as you would to your own posts, and go and to me, that's always been a key to me being someone who people want to talk with, is that I go back to my posts and I make sure that anyone who comments on my posts, I comment back and I thank them for commenting and I join the conversation. So if you want to be more effective, do yourself a favor and join the conversation in as many places as possible in 2023.
I love it. I love it. And I love your focus means, FOMO is focus on meeting others. I love that, Jeff. So that's a great summary. Okay, Kevin, over to you. Let's see.
That is the reason we're on LinkedIn, right? I mean, there is really no other purpose of being here but to meet people, build relationships with people, learn all those good things. That is what the platform does. That's the beauty of it. That's why I've always been on LinkedIn since I got the first chance to join in 2005, right at the beginning of the year. And it has always paid dividends for me. It's done a lot of business. It's done a lot of friendships, things I would never have gotten done without LinkedIn. So, to me, that's incredible. They used to call this social currency, right? When you were building kind of this presence on social media. I still love that concept, because with a currency, not a credit card, right? With a currency, you can only spend it once, you can only invest it once, and you've got to work to get more. And that's really how LinkedIn functions. And I always say it's built on the gold standards of sharing, caring, and reciprocity. If you can pull those three things into everything you do on LinkedIn, LinkedIn will pay you, right? It's that giver's gain in that sense. And that's the approach I've always taken. I know it's the approach you both have taken, and that's probably why we connect so well. We have different ideas, different concepts, but we all get that piece. And I think almost everybody on LinkedIn, once they know it's there and that's the purpose of being there, they all get it. And so building those little tribes from that small kind of spark is how you end up doing extremely well, in social media, in LinkedIn, even beyond it. It all kind of plays out, but it's what really happens in the real world happens on LinkedIn. So if it doesn't work in the real world, if you can't spam in the real world, if you can't, run into a networking group, shake everybody's hand saying you want to buy my product, give them a card and run out and expect business to happen. Doesn't happen on LinkedIn either, right? So just kind of bring those principles forward of how do you build relationships? How do you take care of other people? And that's always going to end up taking care of you. So that's all.
I love that. I love that. Well, it has been an absolute honor to have you both on the show again. I'd love to see if I can book you again for next year, and we'll just go ahead and review 2023 and where did it all go. And I just have to say that it's an honor to be connected with you both. And it's just as a little thing for everyone to know, I asked Jeff to introduce me to Kevin several years ago, and we have a group chat, the three of us, that says Gillian would like to know Kevin or something like that. It was like and we never changed the name of that chat. It's the craziest name chat, but it helps to have your allies, because you need a village to do LinkedIn. And so, it's the behind the scenes conversations that you also have, the comments. Yes, I love all the comments and all that sort of stuff, but it's also just, hey, helping people, remembering if somebody is sick. I sent a DM to somebody that was sick this week because they were sick, sometimes we just have to be a human being, and it's not about just being on LinkedIn to do stuff. It's the real people behind the scenes. So just wanted everybody to know about that. So this has been awesome. Okay, we are past an hour, so I'm going to stop it here. And let me bring the brand back. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Let's see if I can hit the outro and hit the end broadcast and not make any mistakes today. So anyways, thank you guys both for being here. Happy New Year coming up, 2023. May it be great for both of you and everyone watching today and on the replay. Wishing us all 2023 to be an awesome year on LinkedIn. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Happy New Year.